Hello, my friend. Welcome to our channel, Sleep Hypnosis, the Sea. Tonight, we stand at the edge of a dark shoreline, listening to the hush of ocean waves tumbling onto sand, steady and slow. The air is salted and cool, the sky stretched wide with stars, and the water pulls at the land with its ancient rhythm. You probably won't survive this in the literal sense if you were standing here at midnight in a storm, but you will survive tonight's gentle hypnosis and maybe even laugh at the way your worries scatter like startled crabs. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And I'd love to know. Drop your location and local time in the comments, because I want to see where the waves are reaching tonight. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The beach is quiet, only the sea and your own steady breath. Sand presses cool and fine against your feet, grains slipping and giving with each tiny shift of your weight. The ocean's voice rolls in and fades away, then returns, like a patient teacher repeating a lesson until you finally remember. The lesson is simple. Rest. As you gaze out, the horizon is blurred in darkness. Each wave carries away a thought. The meeting you worried about. The message you forgot to answer. Even the embarrassing moment that replays in your head when you're trying to sleep. The tide takes them all, one by one, and swallows them into its black vastness. You breathe in and let it go. Insomnia clings like seaweed, wrapping itself around ankles, tugging you back into wakefulness just when you thought you could drift. But tonight, you gently loosen its grip. You feel how each wave replaces seaweed with silk, smoothing the tangles, softening the pull, until only flow remains. A sleepy smile drifts across your face. Did you know that sailors in ancient Greece would listen for the sound of waves to predict the next day's weather? They believed certain rhythms foretold storms or clear skies. It wasn't science, at least not then, but it was a way of reading the ocean's lullabies. Tonight, you read the same rhythm, and it tells you all. And historians still argue whether Viking sailors navigated by the sunstone, a crystal they believe could reveal sunlight hidden behind clouds. But you don't need tools tonight. You navigate by the waves alone, each one guiding you deeper into rest. The ocean hushes, your shoulders drop. Your chest rises and falls with the same rhythm. Everything is calm tonight. You stand here at the shoreline. No clutter, no noise, only the wide sea and the promise of rest. You breathe in and let it go. You are safe now. The shoreline remains steady, the tide repeating its lull, pulling you into a rhythm so natural you wonder why sleep ever felt difficult. Each inhale feels like the sea drawing itself back, gathering power. Each exhale feels like the wave releasing itself, spilling gently across the sand, smoothing everything in its path. You realize your breath has become the ocean's breath. As you listen closely, the waves sound layered, low rumbles from the deep, crisp fizz where bubbles burst against rocks, and a soft hiss where foam dissolves into sand. These layers are like your thoughts, some heavy, some light, some fleeting. But when the sea moves, all the sounds merge into one steady hush. Tonight, your thoughts merge in the same way, folding into calm. You breathe in and let it go. Insomnia thrives on interruptions. It tugs you awake just as your body begins to soften. It feeds you urgent reminders at 3 in the morning, like a bad infomercial. Have you worried about this problem yet? Act now. You chuckle at the absurdity. Then, let the tide wash the joke away. The ocean is better at selling you what you need: silence, rhythm, and stillness. Quietly, your body sinks deeper. Shoulders drop like anchors. Arms rest heavy against the sheets. Even your jaw, which clenched without permission all day, releases. You feel safe here. In history, the ancient Egyptians used wave music during healing rituals. Priests would pour water into bowls and strike them, listening to the resonance echo like flowing rivers. They believed it aligned body and spirit. You imagine that same resonance now, flowing through you like the hush of waves, sinking every cell with calm. A quirky tidbit floats in. There was once a 17th century physician who believed that ocean breezes alone could cure sleeplessness. He advised patients to literally sleep outdoors near the sea. No mattress, no roof. Another reassurance that the night is here for you. Historians still argue whether Polynesian navigators used only stars and currents, or if they also listened for subtle changes in wave patterns to find islands across vast oceans. Either way, they trusted the sea as a guide, and you trust it now. Each wave guiding you deeper, each breath carrying you closer to sleep. Your eyelids grow heavier. The rhythm continues. Your body drifts like a small boat moored gently in a quiet cove, rocking with every tide. You feel safe here. The waves hush louder then softer, like the earth itself breathing. You no longer fight the rhythm. You belong to it. You breathe in and let it go. The ocean continues its steady pull, and as your body rocks in rhythm, your mind drifts farther. Thoughts no longer cling, they become driftwood, floating away on the tide. You let them go, each one bobbing lightly until the waves swallow them whole. In their place, stories begin to rise, soft tales whispered by the sea itself. You picture the shores of history, ancient sailors steering by the stars, their boats creaking under moonlight. The sea has always been a companion to sleepless wanderers, a place where the restless found rhythm. Tonight, you are one of them, not steering a ship, but guiding your body toward calm waters. You breathe in and let it go. Insomnia loves to argue with you. It says, stay awake, you must solve everything now. But as the tide whispers, you realize the sea has never solved everything in one wave. It works slowly, smoothing cliffs over centuries, polishing glass into gems. Sleep, like the ocean, arrives in patience. You don't force it, you allow it. A sleepy smile drifts across your face. A historical note surfaces. The Phoenicians, masters of seafaring thousands of years ago, mapped trade routes across the Mediterranean. They trusted the stars, the feel of currents, the sound of the wind. No digital clock ticking on a bedside table, no blue light glowing at 2 a.m., just trust in nature's cues. You find yourself trusting too, trusting the waves to guide you deeper into night. A quirky tidbit floats in. During the Victorian era, some families believed in ocean therapy, so firmly they built seaside sanatoriums. Guests would be rolled into the surf in strange wooden carts, dunked like biscuits into tea. Imagine bobbing around in the cold waves while some doctor in a top hat cheered you on. Ridiculous, yes, but the truth beneath it was simple. The ocean soothes. You breathe in and let it go. The sound of the tide grows fuller. In your mind, it becomes a lullaby hummed by the earth itself. Each crest is a verse, each fall a chorus. The repetition is comfort, not trap. Like rocking in a hammock, the motion reassures you without end. Historians still argue whether Homer's Odyssey was inspired by real journeys or was pure poetic invention. Yet, even if Odysseus never wandered the seas, the story reminds us how the ocean mirrors the restless human mind, storms, calms, and eventually, the return home. Tonight, your wandering finds its way home too, not to Ithaca, but to rest. The beach in your imagination widens. You walk slowly along the tide line. Your footprints appear, then fade as waves sweep across. The message is clear. Nothing stays cluttered. You breathe in and let it go. You are safe now. The waves hush, steady and eternal. Your body is heavier, your mind lighter. Everything around you is calm. The tide presses closer now, rolling in with more certainty, like a hand smoothing wrinkles from a sheet. Your body, heavy against the mattress, feels as though it too is being smoothed, every knot of tension ironed flat. You are no longer pacing the shoreline. You are sinking gently beneath its hush, letting the sea cradle you as one of its own. Imagine yourself as an anchor, lowered slowly into clear waters. At first, you drift, rope sliding in soft rhythm until you touch the seabed. Sand receives you without resistance. You settle there, steady and unmoving, while above, thoughts bob away like empty boats. They can float where they please. You no longer need to hold them. You breathe in and let it go. Insomnia has always tried to convince you that floating is dangerous, that if you release control, you'll drown in the noise of your mind. But now you see the trick. The ocean doesn't pull you under, it carries you. The deeper you sink, the quieter it becomes, until silence itself surrounds you like velvet. A sleepy smile drifts across your face. A historical fact rises from the depths. In ancient Mesopotamia, people believed the sea was the birthplace of gods, that life itself surged from the waters. Their myths called it both chaos and creation, a reminder that rest can be born out of disorder. Tonight, as you sink beneath the tide, chaos falls away, leaving only creation, the creation of stillness, the birth of sleep. A quirky tidbit floats by. In the 1950s, sensory deprivation tanks were invented. filling dark chambers with salt water so dense that bodies floated effortlessly. People reported hearing their own heartbeats, even drifting into dreamlike states while awake. Imagine yourself in such a tank now, suspended with no effort, weightless and calm. The ocean around you is your tank, limitless, timeless, safe. You breathe in and let it go. Above you, light ripples across the water's surface. But down here, where you rest,
Isolines, I have the luck to the prom. The rope above goes slack, the boats drift far away, the waves hush and hush and hush. All that remains is the seabed, soft sand, and the sweet gravity of rest. Everything is calm tonight.
the tide presses closer now, rolling in with more certainty, like a hand smoothing wrinkles from a sheet. Your body, heavy against the mattress, feels as though it too is being smoothed, every knot of tension ironed flat. You are no longer pacing the shoreline. You are sinking gently beneath its hush, letting the sea cradle you as one of its own. Imagine yourself as an anchor lowered slowly into clear waters. At first, you drift, ropes sliding in soft rhythm, until you touch the seabed. Sand receives you without resistance. You settle there, steady and unmoving, while above, thoughts bob away like empty boats. They can float where they please. You no longer need to hold them. You breathe in and let it go. Insomnia has always tried to convince you that floating is dangerous, that if you release control, you'll drown in the noise of your mind. But now you see the trick. The ocean doesn't pull you under, it carries you. The deeper you sink, the quieter it becomes, until silence itself surrounds you like velvet. A sleepy smile drifts across your face. A historical fact rises from the depths. In ancient Mesopotamia, people believed the sea was the birthplace of gods, that life itself surged from the waters. Their myths called it both chaos and creation, a reminder that rest can be born out of disorder. Tonight, as you sink beneath the tide, chaos falls away, leaving only creation. The creation of stillness, the birth of sleep. A quirky tidbit floats by. In the 1950s, sensory deprivation tanks were invented, filling dark chambers with salt water so dense that bodies floated effortlessly. People reported hearing their own heartbeats, even drifting into dreamlike states while awake. Imagine yourself in such a tank now, suspended with no effort, weightless and calm. The ocean around you is your tank, limitless, timeless, safe. You breathe in and let it go. Above you, light ripples across the water's surface. But down here, where you rest, the light is soft, filtered, broken into patterns that sway with every current. It doesn't blind you, it lulls you. Each shift in brightness is like the slow blink of tired eyes. Historians still argue whether the legendary city of Atlantis was real or just a metaphor. But whether true or myth, the sea holds you without asking for anything back.
Thoughts have grown so quiet that even the small ones feel polite, waving from a distance, then wandering off. You rest in that generous hush, as if the whole coastline agreed to whisper for your sake. The sky is wide, the stars are steady, and the waves keep doing what they do best: arrive, soften, and slip away. You breathe in and let it go. The water sighs along the shore, tracing silver lines that fade before your eyes. You imagine each line as a path you do not have to take, a choice you do not need to make tonight. The ocean makes the only decision that matters. It decides to keep breathing with you. Your chest follows, slow and sure, like a lantern swinging from a calm hand. Quietly, your body settles heavier into the bed. Your limbs feel like warm sand spilling into place and staying where gravity sets them. The pillow holds your head as though it knows the exact shape of your rest. It does, actually. You've trained it with countless goodnight arguments that you always win. A small victory, a softer smile. Insomnia still tries one last negotiation, the way a seagull negotiates for your fries. It steps closer, tilts its head, and makes a dramatic speech about urgency. You nod politely, then point to the ocean. But the gull gives up and goes to hold a loud committee meeting with other gulls somewhere far away. Their minutes do not concern you. You breathe in and let it go. Far out, a low swell lifts and lowers the surface as if the earth itself were sleeping under a blanket. This image rests behind your eyelids. It becomes the way your thoughts move now. No edges, no cliffs, just soft hills that rise and fall and then dissolve into a plain. There is a simple truth sailors have known for centuries. Rhythm tames fear. Drums on old ships kept rowers together. Chants kept minds steady. A mainstream fact comes ashore with that truth. On long voyages, crews used regular watches, fixed periods dividing the night, so work and sleep kept predictable rhythm. The sea demanded cycles, and humans learned to match them. You match them now. Even clocks feel unnecessary. The tide is enough. Historians still argue whether lullabies began as spells, prayers, or just practical music to hush fussy babies while parents got things done. Whatever their origin, the ocean sings one beneath your breathing. The verses repeat. The chorus returns. You don't have to remember the words. The melody remembers you. There's a chair set near a window, and the window looks onto water. You step in without moving at all. You sit without effort. The chair understands the weight you've brought and accepts it without comment. The window shows a tide that will always be here. The room feels like home. A fringe-leaning tidbit drifts by. Old mariners sometimes tattooed tiny pigs and roosters on their feet, believing the buoyant crates that carried those animals in shipwrecks would lend them luck, keeping them afloat. You picture pig and rooster outlines on your ankles, little life rafts of folklore. It's delightfully odd and oddly comforting. Your feet feel safer than feet have ever felt. Folklore works not because it's proven, but because it gives the mind a handhold. Tonight, your handhold is you breathe in and let it go. The mind loves to catalog. It makes lists and sublists, even for sleep. But the ocean keeps ruining your spreadsheets in the best way. It smudges the cells with foam, steals your bullet points, and draws a heart in the margin when you aren't looking. You do not file the waves, they file you under resting, do not disturb. A small wave stamps the folder with moonlight for good measure. On the far horizon, clouds drift like dark islands. A faint path of starlight runs from sky to sea, then to you. You let it arrive, like a quiet visitor who knows to take off their shoes. The path doesn't demand movement, it simply joins what is already together. Your breath, the tide, the night. Everything is already connected. You don't have to hold anything. A mainstream historical note opens like a shell in your palm. In 1729, Jean-Jacques d'Ortus de Mérén watched a mimosa plant open and close its leaves on a regular schedule, even in darkness. He had discovered a clue to circadian rhythm, the body's internal timekeeper. Your body knows night from within. You do not wrestle sleep into place. You allow a rhythm that was always yours. You breathe in and let it go. The humor of the ordinary returns, light and kind. You remember how daytime you believed checking the time would somehow manufacture rest, as if glancing at a clock could download sleep like an update. Nice try. Nighttime you is smarter. You have deleted notifications and switched to ocean mode. No pop-ups, no patch notes, just a very calm changelog that reads, wave, wave, wave. The mattress behaves like tide pool stone, solid under the softness of the sea. Each place it touches you grows warmer first, then looser, until even the idea of posture retires for the evening. Your shoulders side downward, your hands open as if remembering an old promise to let go. Your breathing turns round at the edges like pebbles worn by time. You let your attention drift to tiny things. Meta, pause, sexes, 0.05, and signs you out. A joke, yes, but not untrue. You feel a permission slip you didn't know you needed. The signature is written in tide lines. It says release. You breathe in and let it go. Historians still argue whether St. Elmo's fire, those eerie blue glows sailors saw on masts, was seen as a miracle, a warning, or a trick of weather so rare it felt like a visitation. You don't need lightning or omens tonight. The only glow you carry is a gentle warmth behind your sternum, a pilot light that keeps the night kind. That is enough. Somewhere a wave miscalculates, flops with a little slap, and pretends it meant to do that. The sea has a sense of humor. You do too. Even your last scraps of vigilance smile, decide they're off duty, and wander toward the snack table of dreams. It's mostly clouds and mango slices there, very exclusive. You breathe in and let it go. The chair in the quiet room eases a little farther back. The window seems larger. You do not stand, you do not move. The scene moves through you like tide through reeds. Each pass leaves less to cling to. Each return brings more room to rest. The mind's final questions appear, then dissolve. What about tomorrow? The tide will handle tomorrow. What about the thing you forgot? If it matters, it will return in daylight, wearing a name tag and a friendly wave. What about you? You are here, breathing. You are safe, resting. That is the whole assignment. A small roll begins at the base of your skull and travels slowly down your neck. Not a physical motion, but a drift of permission. It reaches your shoulders, then slides along your arms, collecting whatever tension noticed the ocean last and wanted to stay. It gathers it all, turns and carries it away like foam returning to sea. Fingers slacken, palms warm. Forms nestle into the bed like sleepy otters. You breathe in and let it go. A faint memory of footsteps on board returns, that steady shipboard cadence, watches, hours, bells. Your heartbeat follows something like it, not exact, just kin. The belly loosens, the hips deepen, the legs, those loyal pillars, stop holding and start being held. Your heels forget what standing is. Calves unspool, knees soften like sea glass, thighs settle with quiet gratitude. If thoughts try to return, they arrive as shells. You can listen to each one. You may even hear the ocean inside it. Then you set it down. The shell is lovely. You do not pocket it. The beach is happier when the shells stay. So is your mind. You are practicing a generous leaving bee. A quirky, nearly unbelievable footnote paddles by. Some lighthouse keeper.
You do not work for it. You let it work on you. Even your face forgets performance. The small muscles around your eyes release their opinions. The brow smooths. The cheeks fall into a soft, friendly gravity. The mouth unknots. If a smile happens, it is lazy and kind. The sort of smile you might give a lamp turning on at dusk. A shy welcome. A cozy yes. You breathe in and let it go. Historians still argue whether the first sailor to circumnavigate alone was the courageous Joshua Slocum in the 1890s, or whether earlier, less recorded voyages deserve the title. The sea keeps many names. What matters is the feeling common to them all, the steady trust in water and wind. You echo that trust now, alone yet held, quiet, yet surrounded by a world that knows how to carry you. Trust is a boat with no hurry. The stars shift their positions by some slow agreement you don't need to understand. The tide keeps its appointments with the shore. The world is competent without you for a while. And what a relief that is. You take your hands off the invisible controls and notice that nothing falls. The ocean has had the wheel this entire time. You breathe in and let it go. More space opens inside your breath. Each inhale is a room. Each exhale is a hallway. You walk the halls without lifting a foot, passing framed pictures of waves and moonlight, and old maps that never required perfection. You notice a final door at the far end, nearly transparent, almost woven from the dark itself. You reach it easily because you are already there. It opens. There is only a bed of water, and you are already lying in it, already warm, already asleep in everything but name. You are safe now. The ocean continues to do what it does. The sky continues to keep the stars. Your breath continues its patient work, rising, falling, and pausing just enough to make room for dreams to step in. The night is capable. The waves are kind. You rest where they meet. Everything is calm tonight. The night is full and soft now, like velvet pressed gently against your skin. The ocean keeps its steady vow just beyond the window of your mind. A hashtag at Meta Repairing awaits. Sexons and sits down nearby to listen to the waves. There's no rush left anywhere. If any sound remains, it is kind.
The hush of your own heartbeat, the whisper of fabric as you turn just slightly, the distant sea, faithful as moonlight. Each sound says the same word in a different voice. Rest. You hear it once, twice, then not at all, because you are already inside it. You breathe in and let it go. Sleep gathers like tide at full moon, slow and complete. It folds over you from crown to heel, a single motion, warm and sure. You drift without effort. You are safe. You are warm. You are held. The night keeps its watch. The waves keep their rhythm. And you, at the center of this gentle world, simply sleep.